Hello, welcome to Insights in Action with Orange 142, where we interview agency leaders and business owners to uncover the journeys, the strategies, and the insights that drive their success. At Orange 142, we're all about transforming brand stories into impactful digital experiences through innovative media and marketing solutions. And today, I'm very lucky to be joined by Kevin of Green Banana SEO. How's it going, Kevin?
Great, great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Kevin, I would love to just start this off by understanding a little bit more about your background and a little bit more about
Sure.
Green Banana.
So background's accidental. I started this what I worked for a tech startup called eRoom that got bought by EMC, and I was their marketing trade show dude. And the I was cubby mates with the web guy, and he said he had a rec and asked if I wanted to take classes at MIT. We were located in Cambridge. He said I could teach you HTML, and I said sure. I definitely would love to do that. And long story short, I ended up taking over the web team after he left. They got bought out. I went off and started my own company rather than go get another job, and started building websites for people. I built my first three websites for free for people and said, if you like it, tell your friends, just don't tell them it was free. And then we started to, as we grew, I took on a business partner and started to evolve into digital marketing. We still do web dev, but digital marketing is 90% of our revenue. I got super into SEO about 16 years ago, and still I'm the resident SEO geek. I spend still about 100 hours a year studying. Um, so
Wow, that's
yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah.
I mean, so what key strategies did you employ to scale the agency from, these humble beginnings, you're just building websites, having a few clients, to serving clients nationwide and achieving recognition on the Inc. 5000 three times?
So I think it's just consistency.
Okay.
I did a ton of networking. Anytime, as we got a little bit bigger, I got asked to do public speaking or presentations. I did every single one of them. I made sure that we worked really hard to deliver value to the clients. And to this day, even though we have a lot of SEO rankings, 80% of our business comes through referrals. So, we're just trying to create good relationships one at a time. I never got any influx of cash. I've taken a lot of three steps forward, two steps back, but
Yeah.
as long as you're getting one forward, it's still forward. And it's over the years, we just grew.
Yeah, well, that's such a testament to your work because, I used to work for a cold email lead gen agency. I was a
Mhm.
VP of sales there, and we get SEO clients that come in looking for more leads. And I'd always be like, man, it's really, really hard for an SEO agency to get leads just because, like, it's just a hard sell over things like cold email and
Yeah,
whatnot, because the
yeah.
results, like, do you have to really, really set expectations with your clients that, hey,
Mhm.
we're doing something now that's going to pay dividends maybe 3, 6 months into the
Yeah,
future. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And so, how do
yeah.
you, I mean, yeah, obviously you do a lot of referrals, but how do you cross that bridge with some clients who may not know that, SEO is a long-term game?
That's a great question. So we have a unique model that it doesn't fit for every single client that we work with, but we have a pay for performance model. So if you pick the keyword phrases, if we rank you on page one, you pay. If we don't rank you on page one, you don't pay. So the onus that makes the sale easier. It still takes 3 months to rank for a lot of terms. It still takes 6 months to rank for really hard terms, depending on the authority of the site, how long the site's been around, how hard the competition is, how many links the competitors have, things like that. But that pay for performance thing really bridges the gap in a lot of conversations.
Yeah, wow, that's really interesting. I haven't heard an offer like that before. I mean, that's really attractive. So does that mean lots of times you're doing that work with, no upfront from the payment from the client for those 3 to 6 months?
I used to do a no upfront, and what happened really quickly was that when the clients got the bill, they're like, "Oh, we didn't even know you were doing anything, so we just don't want to do the contract." So I started doing a nominal upfront fee just so people would understand that they're locked in. And people are more serious when they give you money. But
Yeah.
if we don't rank you within the terms of the contract, you get that back. I've done two refunds in 18 years.
Wow.
So So we'll get people ranked, but we're also selective. If you have a brand new website like that you launched yesterday and you want to rank on page one for dating, it's going to take me more than 12 months to do that. That's longer than the contract. We wouldn't take that project on.
So what types of clients, I mean, I'm sure it's all over the board, but is there a like, small business, mid-sized enterprise? Is there a specific industry that you like working with best? What's kind of the thing there?
Um, so that's another great question. So I always kind of jokingly say we have every type of client but adult content. And we literally have like doctors and lawyers and fintech and biotech. We have missile defense. We have aerospace. Um, we have out of home companies, giant insulation contractors. So that part of the business, I love having all different types of clients because you're learning. Like I know more about cybersecurity than I ever thought I would ever know because we have quite a bit of cybersecurity companies or fintech stuff that is beyond my grasp, but I had to spend time reading about fintech and biotech and things like that. So it's really all over the map. The clients that are more suited for the pay for performance are the smaller companies, the local service companies, like the like plastic surgeons, dentists, doctors, roofers, things like that, because they just say, here are the keywords I want you to rank, and then we send them a bill when they rank 3 months later. The large clients like aerospace or the publicly traded companies, they want to be part of the process and talk to us every week. So we do the same stuff that we do for the pay for performance clients, but we spend more time reporting and talking to the clients. So they're paying us day one. So they're not a pay for performance model because they want a more consultative approach. Um, so that was a terrible way to answer your question, but
No,
it's
I
really
love
all different types of clients, but certain people are good fits for other things. And we also do quite a bit of paid media. We do lots and lots of Google ads. We do Meta, LinkedIn, Facebook, Insta, which is the Meta platform, Twitter, TikTok. So because there are different mediums that work better in different instances. Like we have a consumer product that does something that no one's ever heard of before that we work with. They came to us and said, we want SEO. I'm like, no one's searching for it because it doesn't exist. You don't need SEO. You need to do Facebook and Insta
yeah.
to tell people that, that would be interested in that you can solve this problem.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, it sounds cool that you guys are doing all this. You're working in so many different industries because no
Yeah.
day is the same, I bet. And you get to learn.
It's not boring.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we did talk about a little bit about like setting expectations with clients.
Hmm.
But in terms of working with clients, like you value clients who actively participate and provide constructive feedback. Uh,
Hmm.
Obviously that leads to like flourishing accounts. How do you build
Yeah.
that relationship with clients?
So that setting expectations is super important, but also trying to understand where the client's knowledge gaps are, I think is important. So in this industry, and you probably see this all the time, or anybody that's in any kind of digital marketing or probably anything else that's complex, there's a level of distrust. So a lot of clients that we work with have already been screwed over by another company, and that's a bad way to start.
Yeah,
So we will start with, this is what we do, this is how we do it. If you still don't trust us, don't go into don't do this, don't sign the contract. Like,
yeah,
because you're not gonna, 3 months in, if you're starting off in a distrustful relationship, there's not that much I can say that's gonna really change your mind. So you
right.
really want in the beginning to say, this is what we do, this is how we do it. These are the other clients, here are some referrals. Yes, if you call me and say, hey, I really want to do SEO, but I need to be ranked by the end of the week, I'm like, I can't do that. It's never
Yeah,
going to happen. I don't care how much money you have. I'm never going to collect the money because I can't rank you that fast. I can get you in a Google AdWords program that quickly. However, even like our Google Ads campaigns, things to really optimize conversions, to really start to hit a good ROAS and start to get better, nothing great really happens for the first 90 days. 90 days seems to be where you've got the setup of the campaign, you understand the clients, you understand the product mix, you have the conversion tracking going, you've got momentum building, and then even if it's a paid campaign or an SEO campaign, things start to happen around that point. one of our largest clients that we have a 350% ROAS with, the first 2 weeks we were hitting the cover off the ball, and I called the VP and said, "Don't get too excited." She's like, "Why? This is amazing." I'm like, "I know it's amazing. This is very unusual." Right. So I didn't, it oddly kept going in a good direction. But it's very, very rare for a
Yeah.
campaign to start and hit the cover off the ball.
Yeah.
It's usually, time under tension, things you have to look at patterns. You have to see what's working and what's not working and take advantage of that. In almost, whether it's paid or SEO, I see that pattern consistently. So when people come in saying, "I need to get this done and I need to get this done now,"
Mhm.
even if they have a big budget, it's so hard to say no. And every time I've said yes, I've ended up disappointing them.
Yeah.
Right. So that's part of the growing pains, or things you have to
Yeah.
just set with people.
Yeah, definitely. And it's one of those things that you only learn by doing, right? You have to put your hand on the stove before you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm never doing
Yeah.
that again, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
They're like, yeah, here's all this money, go do this, just do this like this. And then you get your whole team to rush on a setup and things
yeah,
break or things go wrong. And then, then you end up, it's just it's the whole thing's bad.
right.
Yeah.
So with the rapid advancement of like AI technologies,
Mhm.
how is Green Banana SEO? How are you guys integrating AI into your SEO and paid media strategies to stay ahead?
I super love AI. The second it came out, I started using it. I was using chat before there was a subscription model. Absolutely think it's the coolest thing. I reached out to the team, and right when it came out, and the team rolls their eyes at me all the time because I'll have a crazy idea and say we should do this, and they'll try to ground me down to earth. But when AI came out, I said, if we don't figure this out, we are going to be replaced by it. So take advantage of it. When it comes to SEO, it's great for copy, but it's great for doing a copy construct. I would never take copy and then just cut and paste it. And also, it gets things wrong a lot. If you ask, I remember when Bard came out, I asked AI who the CEO of Green Banana was, and it picked one of my SEO directors. It was like, so I was like, oh man, I didn't know I signed that document, right? So it doesn't get everything right, but we definitely use it for that. We definitely, like, when we're writing schema, it will help us with schema. But when we're implementing schema and something breaks, you can literally cut and paste the code, throw it into AI, and say, "Where's the problem? Fix it." And it identifies the problem and fixes that. I was testing out a big schema thing on our site, and when I put it up, I got an error from Search Console that said your scheme is broken. And I put it into chat, and it was extra space. I would have never found that. Or it would
Right.
have taken me hours and hours and hours to find that. And it was like 3 seconds. And
Yeah.
not only did they tell me where the error was, they fixed it. I just had to recut and paste the code. So that, when it comes to, I do a lot of Google Analytics data dumps with larger paid media clients to go find patterns. I've done competitive analyses for clients before we even start doing a project. One of my favorite AI things that I did is last year. I'm on the board of directors for the local Y, and they're old school. So when they hand out the schedule of all the meetings they want you to attend, it's a printed PowerPoint presentation, like this massive thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, I got to go through this whole thing and
Yeah.
go into my calendar and put the date in. So I was like, I'm going to give this a try. So I scanned it, put it into chat, and said, go find every time Kevin Roy's mentioned in
Uh-huh.
this document, and can you create a clickable calendar icon so I can load it onto my iCal? And
Mm.
it literally did it. I clicked a button and boom, it populated my calendar with all the meetings.
Wow.
Like,
That's
I think that would have taken me like probably 2 hours to do that.
yeah.
And I would have definitely screwed up at least one
Yeah.
meeting. So
I'm
stuff like that is just like push the boundaries of it. It's almost free. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
yeah. And everything you're describing is the perfect example of AI making your life easier, not necessarily replacing your
Yeah,
job or your tasks. And I think
yeah,
that's what AI is meant to do right now, you know? And
yeah.
I say right now, we don't know what the future holds, but for sure right
Right,
now, it's just meant to make your life easier. And that's how you can't use it to replace your marketing. You can't
right,
use it to, replace your daily job, but it can
right.
help.
I mean, I was thinking about this the other day where, like, imagine AI comes out with a a surgical tool.
Mhm.
Do you think it's gonna like replace surgeons or just make surgeons better? Where
Right.
like the surgeon's like looking at something and she's like, okay, this tool's gonna make my hand's not gonna make a mistake, but she can read the cues, she knows what's going on, she knows what to do if there's an emergency, she's gonna know how to react. Like little things like that. Like
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna just replace have a machine like Star Trek come down and do everything. There's gonna be a human that's involved in that, and the tool just makes them better.
Right. Absolutely. Well, Kevin, this has been awesome, super
Yeah.
informative, really cool learning about your agency and what makes you guys so successful. Where can people learn more about you and where can people learn more about your agency?
So you can just Google, look for Green Banana. If you want to contact me, I got rid of business cards years ago. And if you Google I just met Kevin or I just met Kevin.com, that takes you to a
Hey,
page on my site that has my LinkedIn information and like
I love
I
that.
think it has a calendar in there. Yeah.
So I love
Yeah.
that. That's cool. I'll have
Yeah.
that link in the show notes below. Well, thank you so much for being on, Kevin. This was so
Yeah.
great.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.